Okay, so today we are starting with Oscar. He's trying to tell us more about job analysis, description, specification, and evaluation.
Yeah, right.
Okay, you can continue from there. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, so welcome to my presentation. Today I will present you an overview of how job analysis, job description, job specification, job evaluation are connected to each other and how they play an important role in human capital management. So here's my agenda. In this presentation, we will cover following points. So first off, what is the job? Then what is the job analysis? Then what is the job description? After that, what is the job specification? What is the job evaluation? And we will also explore the role of human capital management, followed by a conclusion. So first off, what is a job analysis? Job analysis is a systematic process used to gather and analyze and organize information about jobs. So this process is essential for identifying job responsibilities, skills required, and necessary qualifications. It provides foundational data. It provides foundational data for human capital functions like the recruitment, the training, or performance evaluation. So here are some methods for job analysis. One is the observation. So the observation involves directly watching your employees at their work. So you can just observe them while they're working and observe their working results. Another method is interviews. So an interview allows for in-depth discussion with employees and the supervisor. Another option would be questionnaires. So you can collect a large scale of quantitative data. So you would just ask many questions and many different employees could answer them. And then we also have critical incident method, which focuses on analyzing specific instances of performance to identify key behaviors and skills. So now, what is a job description? A job description is a formal document which is outlining the duties, responsibilities, and qualifications of a job. It serves as a reference for job applicants to the human resource and the managers. And it includes key components like the job title, of course, information about the company and like the team you would be working with, the duties, responsibilities, and of course the salary. Here's an example of a job description. I just chose the JP Morgan job description. And as I just said, you can see we have like oh, it's hard to read, but you can see it's at the top we have the job responsibilities. Then we have the required qualifications, and then we also have preferred qualifications. So it's like not a must-have for JP Morgan, but I guess it's nice to have. And then they talk something about themselves, about the company, about the team you would be working with. What is a job specification now? So a job specification provides detailed requirements for a job, including the education, experience, and skills a person have. It plays a crucial role in identifying suitable candidates during recruitment process by focusing on what is required to perform the job successfully. So, and when I was preparing this presentation, I had like the question, okay, now what is the difference between description and specification? So I wanted to make it really short, real clear. So while the job description focuses on tasks and responsibilities of a role, the job specification highlights the qualifications and skills required to perform in the role. Together that provide a full picture of the job and the ideal candidate. Now let's get to what is a job evaluation. So a job evaluation is a systematic process used to determine the relative worth of a job within an organization. And its purpose is to ensure fair compensation based on the job responsibilities and requirements, so that the employees feel like they're treated fair based on their salary or maybe other profits they get in the company besides the salary. Yeah, and this process is also really important for maintaining equity in compensation structures. So here are three different methods of job evaluation. So first off, we have the First off, we have the point factor system. So this system assigns points to different job factors, such as skills, responsibilities, effort, and working conditions. As you can see here, I think it's, again, quite hard to read, but as I said, it's you can see skills, responsibilities, efforts, and working conditions. The second method would be job comparison. So you just compare jobs to each other with different criteria. So as you can see here, you have like, for example, time for hobbies or travel. But of course, you had like in a complex comparison, you would have more criteria. And the last one is the ranking. Here you can see like a pyramid where jobs are ordered by their values or complexity. So the entry level, as you can see, is the lowest level on this pyramid, and the CEO or other C-suite positions are the highest. So you rank them by their complexity and like the responsibility they have. So now let's come to a conclusion. First off, we're going to talk about how it is connected to the human capital management now. So the job analysis provides key data for aligning workforce skills with a business goal. The job description ensures clarity in the role, optimizing employee performance. The job specification helps identifying skill gaps and guides employees' development. Then finally, the job evaluation ensures fair compensation, which is crucial for retention and motivation for the employees. So the key takeaways. To summarize everything of this presentation, we can say that the job analysis forms the foundation for understanding a role, responsibilities. So the job description and specification streamlines recruitment and performance management, and the job evaluation promotes fairness and compensation. So, and all of these processes are critical for optimizing human capital within an organization. So now is your experience asked. I want to know what experience had you had in your work life, and maybe we could start a little discussion or conversation about your experience. I just wrote down some questions. Maybe you can stick to them, or if you have like other points you would like to mention, you can do that. And yeah, that's from my side. Now it's your turn.
Where do we start? Okay.
Thank you. I applied to 2 jobs, and when I got them, it was like a really fast process. So it was like only 1 round of interviews, and it just worked very well because I think they set good expectations for the job, and then we talked a little bit about it. And I think after 1 week, I got accepted there, so it was really easy, and I think that's an important part about hiring, because if you make the entire process too complicated, then a lot of your potential employees might even not apply to the job.
Okay. So may I ask you, how did you find this job? Just by a job description or like by friends?
Yeah, from mostly through connections. So either friends or, for example, there are like job fairies, and I think that's the best way to do it, because you already have a person you connected with.
Thank you.
Where is that? Where was that? In Frankfurt?
Yes, in Frankfurt. Yeah.
Is it the same everywhere in Germany, or just only in Frankfurt?
I mean, it kind of depends in the job area you want to apply in. So I think there are certain jobs, for example, you had the JP Morgan there, which are quite harder to get into, and then there are easier jobs to get into. But I think in Germany, it's overall not that complicated of a process.
Okay, let me ask this question to all of you in case you have any answer before we continue with the
Yeah.
question. I noticed that a lot of work mentality, so to say, in Europe.
Okay.
Why was it like that?
Work mentality?
Yes, what I mean, every time people are too engaged.
Mm.
From morning, I want to go to work, I have to go to work. I just want to know, why is it like that? It's very serious. But some of us from Asia, from Africa, we concentrate on the family, whether there's work or not. Or maybe we'll go to the farm, or their family business. so to say, mostly. But I noticed in Europe, I mean, that occupational ideology so much.
I'm not sure about it because I think in some areas you have high expectations for your work, and it comes like with some symbolism. You can buy your own home and maybe drive a nice car if you work really hard and make a good career. But also, I think in the late, like 1 or 2 years, this kind of changes because, for example, a lot of companies now have problems because the people only want to work 35 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week, and actually, or maybe even work part time, but still get full payment. So I think the mentality in Germany, I don't know about the rest of the EU, but in Germany it changes.
What do you mean by mentality changing? The mentality of
Yeah, people maybe don't want to work 40 hours a week anymore. So, I mean, it doesn't apply to all people, but for example, the Deutsche Bahn, they had really, so the train system, they had like strikes because the workers don't wanted to work their full time anymore, but wanted to reduce their working hours. And it was quite a big deal in Germany because now other companies maybe have to do it as well.
do you know if he has any historical background to it?
I don't know about it. Maybe the reunion of Germany or after the World War, then you had to rebuild and quite a lot of work, but I don't know exactly.
Okay, anybody about this work mentality?
So I think Christoph already mentioned it really well. I think maybe also that, like you said before, maybe also after the World War II, Germany was really broken, and then they built up a whole economy really well. And so maybe like our grandparents are really thinking of like working really well and doing like a great career. I think career is like a big thing in Germany, and it's also a big thing today. But also, Christoph already mentioned, I think work-life balance is becoming more and more important, and like work-life benefits are also becoming more important. There are like companies giving more like flexible work, remote work. You can work from other areas, like work from home 2 or 3 days. And I'm thinking this will like grow more and more in the next years.
Does it have any connection with Eastern Europe? I mean, yeah, correct.
Yeah. So what do you mean with Eastern Europe?
East, but the East, the time I know about the Berlin Wall, right?
Mm.
And,
Yeah. So Germany was
after
separated. Yeah.
separation, but then the Western Europe appeared to be more healthy and wealthy,
Yeah.
but the Eastern Europe were suffering or something like that. So they have to break the wall to turn.
Yeah. I think they had
So
like a
do you see
different,
any connection? Does it have any connection there?
maybe because
Because I
like,
believe that Western Europe are richer, wealthier, more developed to some extent than the East.
yeah, I think like the political system were different. So like the West was more close to USA, and like the west part of Germany has more like this like democratic thinking, and also different part of like Germany had like this communism thinking. And then when already it came together, maybe they had to adapt to the other part of Germany and more to the USA thinking. And that's why, oh, maybe they had to more develop their career.
But
And
then today, Germany is one of the by GDP or whatever.
yeah, the fourth biggest economy.
Fourth
Yeah.
biggest.
So this suggests there is some positive dimension to it compared to other parts. Especially the eastern part. They are still struggling a lot.
Yeah, I think
I just want to know.
I think the advantage of Germany was you had like the eastern part, but then you also had the western part. And when they combined both, like they also had the thinking from the other part of Germany. They could just like move around the country and give like the advice to all the companies in the east. But like the eastern part was just focused, like for example, other countries in the eastern part of Europe, they had just like their country and no other part of the western beliefs and the western thinking. And maybe this was like an advantage of Germany to have like the combination of both. And like the huge companies from the West, for example, like Volkswagen, the whole car companies, or Porsche, they moved some factories to the east and they brought some capital to the east. And so it was easier for Germany to have like a whole big economy, other like the other eastern countries where they had to build up from like another ground than Germany.
I want to add on that. First, I would say it's a question of system. So, like the Western countries or Western Germany was more capitalistic than Eastern Europe. First that, and you said you have the perception because of us that we are very work oriented. I think it's also biased because we are all like finance business students. If you see a group of, I don't know, students who study art, I think they are not really into business that much, or internships, or working a lot of times. And I would add Germany especially. I think it's nowadays debated a lot that we are, I think in certain cycles that people are lazy and not want to work a lot of times. If you look at countries like USA or even countries in Asia like South Korea, they're working way more than we are doing. For example, at my last place where I worked, I had a colleague. She were from South Korea, and she moved to Germany because she wanted to improve her work-life balance. Because in South Korea, she did the same job, got less money, and worked way more than in Germany. So, yeah, I think in Germany we prioritize work-life balance way more than other countries. Yes.
Wow. Then I would like to also get from you whether it is, can you emphasize on the historical nature of work oriented, historical nature of it, background, why it should be like that?
Why we?
In terms of, because what I see and what most people see is people are work oriented so much. They think about work all the time.
I think that's natural because if you don't earn a lot of money, the only thing you can do to change the situation is to work more. And if you reach a certain point, like most Germans or a lot of Germans did, then another things get important to them. So they change their perception and want to have more time for family and stuff. Yeah, but you have to reach that certain point.
I also observed, I may be wrong, but because I wasn't there for a long time, but I also hear from many of my friends there. When I was in the mall, is it the mall or 7-Eleven kind of shopping mall? There are stores that convenience shops.
Convenience
The
shops.
people,
Yeah, you have a
I don't know what
kiosk
the name
then.
is called over there, but just like 7-Eleven here.
Maybe not a chain because in Germany we don't have, I think, big.
It was
Yeah, but
the
you have a kind of
Yeah, but kiosk, lotto.
yes, yeah, where they said equivalent to 7-Eleven.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but the people I saw, they are too mean, too serious, and they are working too dedicated and very hard working. I tend not to see that kind of human, being. It's as if don't talk too much to be sad or you concentrate on that work, don't only in that work. Just I want to know, is it because I was just there newly or something? Because I saw it visually in every place. People who are working and dedicated, committed, and centered on that work only.
Yeah, okay, that might be a difference in work culture. I think in Germany people are more focusing on the work and not asking.
Not talking on phone like
Yes,
here.
yeah, not
Like here,
Yeah.
when you go to certain offices, they are not
more efficiently.
they're not ready. They will be talking on the phone. When they finish talking on the phone, they will attend to you. And the phone is not related to even the work they are assigned to.
Yeah.
And I think down there in our place also is related to family oriented that if I see my mom where I'm working, I have to leave the work and attend to my mom first, and after talking to family issue, then I go back. So I don't seem to see something like that. So I would like to know if you notice that, or is there any reason for that? Just work, face the work.
Just what? Work?
Face the job.
I think people on work are trying to be professional and efficiently and not trying to do something else, having small talk. People do it, but I think less in other countries.
So is it the reason why Germany GDP is very high?
I think I would say that, but I don't know, but I would say
Okay,
that.
I'm asking all these questions because I know most people that will watch us, they will not learn all this. That's one of my reasons. Nicholas.
I have maybe like another reason why Germany is like really focused on career, because maybe also like we have a good educational system, so the possibility to grow up is maybe like easier than other countries, because it's also like the education is free, so school is free and university is nearly free, so it's like easier to grow up than maybe like in other countries. So for example, in America, university is really expensive. So like when you want to have a good career, I would say it's fairer in Germany than other countries. It's also like not as fair as in maybe there could be like a fairer country, but I would say it's fair in Germany. And when you work hard, you can also receive a lot. So that's why I would say maybe they're also like career orientated because they have the possibility to do that if you like go to university.
I see. Okay, back to your question. So,
Yeah.
because all of you are from Germany, so we would like to learn a lot from your experience. That is why I'm asking. So now let's get to Sebastian in relation to the question. What experiences have you had in your working life? Oscar is asking you this question, not me.
Well, I applied to a few internships already during my studies, and I think there are like specific industries which are like very competitive. So, for example, if you apply to something like anything finance related, like investment banking, M&A, and so on, there are like a few interview steps and processes which you have to take to get the interview. So that can be very exhausting, and I think that is very competitive in Germany as well.
Any comment?
Yeah, just maybe another question. So if you were like applying for the job, I'm sure you read like the course description.
Yes.
Were like the course description matching with the tasks you had at the end in the job? Or was it like, because I experienced myself that they had like in this course description many qualifications and skills I have to like provide for them.
Yeah.
When I was working for them, I had like the feeling,
Yeah.
I don't need all of this.
Yeah.
It was like way easier, the job.
Well, I think it depends. As I said before, if you apply to like finance-related jobs, the job requirements are pretty high, but you will quickly realize that when you're on the job and doing the things you're told to do, mostly you build pretty PowerPoint slides and do a little bit of Excel, but you don't need the overly sharp analytical thinking, which was mentioned in the job description. So I think there's a little bit of difference between the job description and the actual reality.
Yeah, right.
So I would agree with Sebastian, because when I applied to some jobs, they had a huge list of qualifications, also in programming languages. And then when I actually had the job and did it, I ended up just cooking coffee and sometimes doing some Excel. So it was a really different experience than on a job description. But also for some like lower level jobs, I think it matches. Like if you work at the cafe, they say you need to be nice, you need to go do well with the customers. So I think it just depends on the industry.
Right.
Yeah, I would also say at this point, Sebastian and Katharina were right. So I would say there's often like a difference between the description and the reality of the job. But I would also like to go on the point with how did I find the job? So I had one working student job in Germany, and so I found it on LinkedIn. It's like a platform where you can all look at, and it's like a platform where you can see all the jobs and all have connections with other people. But it's like the same job also recommended one friend to me, so it was like a connection of both. And I think sometimes it's really useful when you have like friends working there and they can recommend you the job, because then you already know what you will expect at the job and what you will do there. Because then even if you see that it's not like the same as in the job description, you know that what you want to do there. And yeah, that's all.
I think they already said everything. Right now, I'm actually applying to a job. Tomorrow, I will have an interview. And a good thing is also to talk with friends if they already been to this position, because they can give you insights how it actually will be. And that might be different from the description. So, yes.
I also have nothing to add. I had a little funny experience. So I also applied for a job for an internship, but I didn't inform very well about this job. And then I had the job interview, and while we had this interview, I realized it's not the thing I wanted to do. So the interviewer and me, we both realized in the job interview that I won't get the job. So, and yes, it wasn't so long. It was like the job interview only was like half an hour. And yes.
Was it because you misunderstood like
Yes, I misunderstood the job
course
description.
Okay.
Yes. And
Yeah.
yes, that was my experience.
Okay, over to you,
Yep.
Mr. Oscar.
Mhm.
Okay, so we get back to your starting point. Okay, let us remember the topic. The topic is what is a job analysis.
Yeah, well,
And according to his definition, is a systemic process for gathering, analyzing, organizing information about jobs. You get that? You know that already, right?
yeah.
Significance. It provides essential information for human resource processes like recruitment, training, and performance evaluation. Purpose. It helps in identifying job responsibilities, skills required, and the necessary qualifications. Any question on this particular definition of job analysis? Anybody? Do you have any question, or you okay with the definition? Sure? Okay, let's move on. Methods of job analysis. Observation. Directly observing employees performing their jobs to gather data. Interviews. Conducting interviews with employees and supervisors to understand job functions and requirements. Questionnaires. Distributing surveys to employees to collect quantitative data on job tasks and responsibilities. Critical incidents. Analyzing specific instances of job performance to identify key behaviors and skills. Method of job analysis. Any question here? Any observation here? Any contribution? Professor, do you have any contribution there about job analysis?
Yeah, I just not really much. I would just add. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but depending on the job, it has like pro and cons, which method you would use. Because, for example, I think many jobs are quite hard to observe, so it's quite hard to analyze a job by just observing somebody at work. Because at some jobs it's hard to observe a job. Yeah.
Okay.
And for example, like an interview would take quite much time, because if you have like 100 employees and you want to interview all of them, it would take a lot of time.
Yeah, I also think jobs evolve over time. So if you are at a company for more than a year or 2 years, then you won't be doing the same stuff you were when you were hired. So you can't really think that all the job description says is what you are going to do. And that's why the job analysis is important even after you got there and evolve.
Okay, is there any place in Germany, any situation in Germany where job interview is already completed, depending on where you are coming from, the city you are coming from? I don't know what you call it. You call it municipalities, or do you call it province, or you call it state? Like
Yeah,
state. Okay. Have you experienced a situation where job interview is determined by the states you are coming from? Because some states are condemned that either they are lazy or they are troublesome. Therefore, do you have that kind of situation?
Well, I think if you're applicant at a bigger company, then you won't face this problem. But for example, if you're applying to a smaller company in the south of Bavaria to the border of Austria, for example, it will be, I think, a little bit harder if you don't speak the dialect. So I think they're like really these kind of people like are really, I don't know how to say that, but They don't like the rest of Germany that much.
Yeah, because I noticed that it is not only in Europe, I mean, it's not only in Africa or in Asia, it's also applicable. Depending on where you're coming, the impression, the perception already determine whether you get the job or not. Do you have something? What about if about Africans in Germany? Do they easily get job, or is there every job is available, or some jobs available? Some jobs available. Who can give me a clue about this?
I think a lot of companies, because diversity gets popular more and more, even are in favor for people of minorities. So I can't speak for all companies, but I think bigger companies even favor at a certain point recruiting people of minorities. So yeah,
They are in favor of recruiting minorities.
to a certain point, yeah, I think so.
Why?
Because they have diversity rates.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then,
Not even only for people of color, also for women, for disabled people, or people whose parents aren't academic. So they look that they have a diverse group. Yeah.
do you notice any sort of selection in the kind of job or the type of job given to people from Asia or from Africa in Germany? Yeah, do you notice that?
Do you want to? I think you want to say that lower paid jobs, or what do you mean?
I don't mean only lower paid job, but whether you have noticed a kind of a particular kind of job being given to people from Asia or from Africa.
Yeah,
Why is it so?
I think you see, for example, a lot of Turkish people working in, for example, sanitary jobs, cleaning buildings, or also now people from Africa or Asia, because these jobs are not requiring high education or documentation or language. So these jobs don't have these barriers, so they can get recruited in these jobs. Yes.
Because I am talking based on what I observed actually. Someone was raising that.
Yes.
I mean, you kind of already said it. I think for a lot of jobs, German is a qualification you have to have. So you have to speak the language because almost every every smaller company maybe has people that don't speak English in it. So German, the language is a requirement for most of the companies.
Okay. So one of the reasons could also be that maybe because there aren't enough people who are eager to do a particular kind of job. Not necessarily because there's any reason. Sometimes it could be because the people to do a particular kind of job they are not available. So and those available are given the job. Okay, so are you there?
I'm done, yeah.
Oh, Professor, greetings. Okay, next.
Shall we continue, yeah?
What is job description? A formal document that outlines the duties, responsibilities, and qualifications of a job. Just like Nicholas said, he went for an interview because he couldn't understand the job description. Do you know that here in Thailand, to teach English, although it's changing a little bit, to teach English, they will tell you that they need native speakers. And some job description will boldly put it there that if you're an African, please do not waste your time. Some will say, if you're an African, don't apply. Why is like that? Do you think is a discriminatory or a proper thing to say? I haven't listed the job description,
So
but then the people to take the job, they will announce who to apply and who not to apply.
So they will write in the job description.
After writing the job description, then because they're seeking for people to come and apply, but they will say boldly, if you're an African, please don't waste your time.
Even though if you speak Thai, even though if the African person speak Thai?
No, because you're not being employed to speak Thai. You're being employed to teach English.
Oh.
I'm talking about English.
Yeah, but will they still write in the job description, don't apply if you're African, even though you speak Thai?
Yeah, no. Speaking Thai is not related to it. But do you know it happens?
I don't know. I'm not from Thailand.
So what do you think about it? That's my question in relation to job description. How do you feel and how do you think about it? If you're an African, please don't apply.
I'm neither from Thailand, so I don't know about these cases. But I think in this case, it's discrimination because they could also just write, if you don't speak Thai perfectly, don't apply. And
or
then,
if you're not from native speaker.
yeah, or
Because
if you're not
English speaking, teaching English teachers, not about Thai teaching Thai. As a matter of fact, if you're employed as an English teacher, you're not expected to speak Thai to the students.
okay, maybe they want
So
the
they
English
say
teacher,
non-native speaker, don't apply.
but maybe they want the English teacher to speak Thai. So
No, they want to use English to teach Thai students English.
yeah, but
Just English teachers.
But maybe they want the English teacher to speak Thai because if the Thai students don't understand something in English, then he can explain in Thai.
There's always a Thai teacher in
Okay.
every class. But if you are being employed as an English teacher, you are there to teach English.
Okay, I would say it's
the problem is that
discrimination.
in this job description, they also put it about, they try to use a kind of discriminatory statement.
Yeah.
If you're from Africa, some even will go extra mile to say, don't waste your time.
Okay, it's even funny, but yeah, it's discrimination, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to know what you think about it.
Yeah, I would say the same as Nahum. I would also say it's discriminating because you could also like do assessment at the beginning. So when you like go to interview, you can like speak English with the interviewing person, and then he knows or she knows if you speak English really well, and then there shouldn't be a problem. So I would also say it's discriminating. You could also like grow up in South Africa and your native language is English, for example. So
Another problem there is eventually, I think now it's changing anyway, because they started off like that. Eventually found out that actually what they needed should be English teacher, not nationality. So most schools started changing that concept, but they still are available. But I just want to know, what do you think about that kind of statement? Is it the statement from the company or statement from an individual who may have had issue, maybe subconsciously a racist, and then using it in the office? Not necessarily the school, neither the company, but then could it be? Do you have anything?
Yeah, I think maybe at some point it's as well the company thinking that their customers want, like, if you have an English teacher, they want like an English person from England standing in front of them, their customers. So maybe it's at this point the company is not specifically saying we don't want Africans, but they think that their customers want like not an African person, because they would be like, I want to learn English, so I don't want an African to teach me, I want like an English person to teach me.
But then the Africanness, the English language, what I just want to say, how about those who are Africans born in England?
Yeah,
As a matter of fact,
yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But I
but
think
then the issue is color.
it is just discrimination.
That's exactly because there's an American, African American,
Yeah.
that was treated badly because they thought he's just African from Africa.
Yeah,
So-
it's no question. That's discrimination. But
Yeah.
I think it's maybe not the company saying we don't like black people. It's maybe just the company thinking that their customer don't want like a black person.
Or
to
the
teach
parents
English.
would prefer to
Right.
see a white person teaching
Yeah,
their
right.
kids,
That's
which is not actually
it
correct.
doesn't make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make it better. Yeah.
That is why currently I think they are changing because
Yeah.
as at 2004, 2005 here in Thailand, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, that was the case.
Yeah.
When you see the newspaper publication,
But now
or
it's better?
sometimes, but now it's getting
Okay.
almost African teaching almost every schools.
Yeah.
I think the mindset eventually changed. Why? Because some Westerners who were actually teaching some of them did not even complete their secondary school. And some of them faked their document and bought the degree here in Thailand. And then eventually something happened that the police raided some places and found out that most of these Westerners never even graduated, but they had a fake document. So from then, again, when they teach their children, they found out that the children are not learning anything. They started going to Filipinos, and then Africans, and then other nationalities, unlike what they are used to. So now I think it's a little bit, Thailand is developing and moving towards a better concept.
Yeah.
In terms
I think
of,
that's a great development
who will
for
be a
Thailand.
teacher. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much. So we move on.
Yeah. Now you just said this.
Example of job description. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to
That is
read.
very, very important. It's very, very essential if you employ someone to let him know what he's supposed to do, what he shouldn't do, and what he should do. Any other comment from this job description? Because it's very important. Do you want to emphasize? Do you want to say something more about it?
About this one, no. I think this is like a basic job description.
Okay, move on. Then what is the job specification? Yeah, this is exactly where I was talking about before. You will see someone with a qualified education, but unfortunately, you are looking for color, not the qualification. You see? A document that details the requirement for a job, requirements, education, experience, skills. By the way, how about those who are disabled? Those who are impaired in one form or the other.
You mean in Germany?
No, I'm talking about generally, in terms of this job specification. How about those who are not working? I mean, they have some problems with themselves.
I think for these cases, it's even more important and better if the job specification is precisely. So people who are disabled can find out if they can apply for this job.
Or not.
Yes.
So what have you to say? Any comment about job specification? Because there are people who cannot ordinarily work because they have some disabilities, and some people may not actually hear or something like that. Then how do you do? Does it mean we'll condemn them in a society in terms of job specification?
So I wanted to add something. I would say if you like have physical disabilities, like you can't work or something, that shouldn't be like a problem in the office. So if you like have a job like doing, I don't know, accounting or finance or marketing, then I think there shouldn't be a problem. More like when you do like service in a cafe or restaurant. But that's why I think it's also good to have like quotas in the companies, and that you like also include disabled persons, because it's not really easy for them to find jobs. But it's the same as for us, for people who can work and have no disability.
Any other question, any point? Okay.
And in Germany, I think, I don't know if other countries have it, but in Germany we have work for disabled people. So it's specialized work they can do. For example, I remember at my school where I went to, the people who gave us the food at the cafeteria, they all had a disability. So jobs which are very easy to do, they can apply for and can make it. But they have lower wage than for normal jobs.
Yeah, because actually it's good that we look at it, because society should be encompassing, should be involving, should be inclusive.
Yeah.
Even the job, even though there are particular kind of job, you are not expected to apply if you don't have a particular experience, skills, or education attached to it. So, any other observation about job specification? You said it's about requirement for a job. Who do we need? Do we need someone from Thailand or from Cambodia or from Myanmar or Malaysia or Laos? Or do we need someone from Europe? Job specification. Okay, who can there tell me the difference between job specification and job description? Any idea the difference between job specification and job description? Okay, Christopher. Where's the other Christopher? Is not here.
The other one,
The other Christopher.
Yeah.
Christopher Do.
I don't know.
He's
Yeah.
not here, and his friend is
Christopher.
not here too. The other, I don't know the name, but the other guy. You are not complete today. Why?
I think, I don't know.
Maybe they're sick or something. I don't know.
How can you be
Maybe
sick?
maybe something. I don't
The
know.
difference between
Yeah.
job specification and job description.
Yeah, so I think the job description isn't always what you essentially need for the job. For example, there's a section at most of the companies what they would like to have, but they aren't must-haves. And the job specification is basically what you need to have. So, for example, education, or if you're going to be a lawyer, you have to pass the bar, or if you want to be a doctor, then you have to fulfill certain requirements. And the job description is basically the job is a specification plus some extra skills, so soft skills, I would say.
Okay, any other person with another information? Okay, can we say that job description is about job and job specification is about the person to do the job? Am I correct if I put it that way? Job description is about the job, but then job specification is about the person to do the job. Now, who am I correct?
Yes.
Sure? Nicholas, am I correct? Why am I correct? Tell me.
As you said, the other slide, please. As you said, the job specification is more about my person, what I need to do the job, and the job description is the general information about the job, the things every person has to bring with to do this job. So job specification is, for me personally, what I have to give the company, and yes, the job description is
Okay. I
generally.
just put it mildly this way so that you get it in case it appears in any form of writing. Just remember, job description is about the job. Job specification is about you or me, depending on who is applied. Okay, Professor, move
So
on.
we have this slide, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we just talked about it, right?
I didn't know you. I forgot the habit. Job description focuses on duties and responsibilities. Job. Then job specification focuses on candidate qualifications. Wow, this is wonderful. I never knew you had it too.
It's okay.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Next, what is job evaluation? I guess this is the final part of it, all right?
Right.
Okay, job evaluation. What have you to say about job evaluation? Any contribution? Says a systemic process for determining the relative worth of jobs within an organization. Purpose: it ensures equitable compensation based on job responsibilities and requirements. Significance: it helps in identifying suitable candidates during the recruitment process. Okay, so any contribution here? Job evaluation. What is job evaluation? It's not ripe yet.
Sorry?
Not yet ripe.
Yeah, I think it's pretty quick.
Maybe 2 days more. Job evaluation. Maybe you can evaluate the banana.
Yeah, basically it's from a company side, I would say, and they need to know how much they should pay for a job to get the job done, but also not overpay. maybe if the job afterwards is done, if the customer is happy. So basically, it's a quality check about an intern quality check about your employees. And not just that, but also like the job you are hired for. So maybe do I have to adjust some things?
Well, Sebastian, what have you to say about job evaluation?
Well, I think as a company, you have to think of what are the tasks of the position you want to fill, and and I think that's basically it. So you should think about what are the things that the future employee should take care of, and based on that, you should then write your job description.
Okay, Anna.
Yeah, I think it's important to evaluate the job in order to attract the suitable candidates, because if you don't give enough benefits, so maybe the really top tier candidates won't even apply for your job. So if you put the right way in the job description, it will really help your company.
Also, like job evaluation is also important to know how much you have to pay for your employees, and also like in comparison to other companies to stay competitive in the market. So I don't know, if you have like a managing position, then you have to evaluate that you maybe have to pay a little bit more. Then it's like a more analyst position where you just start from university.
Okay, now
Yeah, I would add it's important to look for equitable compensation. So based on the job's responsible and the requirements. Yeah, I think there's nothing to add anymore. It's bad for us because we're always the last ones. So all the important information already said.
I also have nothing to add.
Then you have to have something to say about from your own word.
What's your perception?
Yeah, nothing to add, but yeah, it's important for the company. But yeah.
Okay, next slide. Methods of job evaluation. Please, can you emphasize on it again? Can you just throw more light on it again? On the job evaluation methods.
I should explain it again?
Yes.
So these are just...
Can you give some examples and just use your example to emphasize on it?
Yeah, so we have
Okay, pay attention, please.
So I have this 3 methods for like a job evaluation, and I choose like the first one is the point factor system, and we have like these different different factors or criteria. In this point factor system, we have at the top it's skills, the purple one, then responsibilities, effort, and working conditions, and they like split up into different points, and based on these factors you are evaluating the job and can like sort it or order it in a different in a specific sector, so you know what is the job about and how much do you pay somebody based on these criteria. Yeah, and then you have the job comparison where you just take different jobs that can be totally different. And this one you can see like we have a teacher or what is it as well, like a park ranger or art director, like different jobs, completely different. And then you have as well, again, like criteria here, it's just service, time for free hobbies or travel, but can of course have like many different criteria. And you just check like, okay, what do you have? Where do you have much time, less time? How's the salary? Like how much do you interact with your coworkers or different people? And based on this, you can like see if a job is fitting to you, is not fitting to you, or for a company, what job do you self, or which job you self are searching people for.
In this case, this job comparison, is it done by the employee or employer?
Again, the question, sorry.
Is it the duty of the employee or the employer?
So like this one,
job comparison.
Yeah, it would be, I think it would be more for the employee, because when I'm searching for a job, I would compare different jobs and be like, okay, here I have more free time.
Okay, in other words, who is evaluating this job? Who is evaluating this job now? Methods of job evaluation by who? By the employer or by the employee?
The employer is elevating the job.
By the employer, okay. If it is the employer that is evaluating it, how about job comparison? Who is comparing? Is it the employee or the employer?
Well, it could be both, but in this case, it would be the employer. So the employer, I mean, we have different, in a big company, we have different positions. And we could like see, okay, here we have like low responsibility and less salary and maybe like less complex tasks. And then we have a job where we have higher responsibility, higher complexity, so we have to pay higher salary. And this is where like a company would compare their own jobs and see which person suits in there, how much do we pay each person.
Okay, Nicholas, when you are during the interview, you found that you don't have the job. Were you evaluating the job, or the employer was evaluating you? Who is evaluating who now? Because my concern here, methods of the job evaluation. Who is evaluating now? Because you had an interview and you found out that this job is not for you. At that point in time, were you evaluating the job or the interviewer?
We both did it because we both realized that I have no clue why I was sitting there. And because of that, it was very clear that, yes, we were both like, we had the same opinion.
Okay. You quickly evaluated the job that's not meant for you.
Yes.
While the person also quickly evaluated the fact that this job, you are not the right candidate.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also was not like that I would put my heart into this job, you know. So I was not.
So you also evaluated.
Yes,
because they might even give you the job, but
yes.
you don't like.
Yeah,
You
I
don't like.
didn't like.
Know where you want to spend your life.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so job evaluation. You are saying that it could be done by the one seeking.
Yeah, by both parties.
For the job. Okay.
Okay.
But mostly it's done by the employer.
Yeah, it's more
Who
important.
has the job already.
It's more important for them.
But
I
at the
guess.
same time, myself should also evaluate whether this job is good for me or not. Whether it's affecting my psyche or affecting my system, affecting my life, or affecting my family, then I can decide to quit. Very good. Okay, the next one.
And the last one is the ranking. In this case, we have like this pyramid where you just rank the job. So we have the lowest level, the entry level. And as I mentioned before, in the entry level, you will have low salary, low responsibility, and simple tasks. And if you step up on this pyramid, you will have more complexity, and of course more salary because you also have more responsibility. Yeah, and that's what the ranking is about.
Okay, so next conclusion. Can you just summarize it for us?
Yeah. So the conclusion now, I wanted to connect it to the human capital management because this is what it's all about. And so the conclusion is that the job analysis provides key data for aligning the workforce and like skills within the business goals. So every company has a bigger goal or like smaller goals, and to achieve them, the job analysis is important because we can like gather data to achieve these goals. And as well, for the job description, it's just as important as well, because the job description is like clarifying the roles and is optimizing the employee performance. So the better the job description is, the better the candidates will be, which are like applying for the job. Because if the description is bad, I will get people, like maybe in the case of
Nicholas,
maybe the job description was just bad. So Nicholas couldn't understand it right, and he applied for the job. And then the manager had to waste like many time because he had to interview Nicholas, and even though
Nicholas has to waste some money to travel
and
to
they had
the
no
place.
perspective. And maybe if the job description is bad, there will be like 10 people like Nicholas, and they waste a lot of time. So that's important for the human capital management to like be more efficient in this point. So, and the job specification just helps to help the employee to develop. So you have, as we said in the job specification, we have like what is needed from the candidate, and if this is clear, we know like how to improve the candidate, how to make them better by trainings, for example. And if we don't have this clear specification, like the skills you need, the requirements the company has, if we don't have that, then we can't like improve our staff, our employees. So if we have clarified what the specification is, which skills you need, that will be more efficient, and we can like it's easier, it is better to achieve the company's goals. And finally the job evaluation is, I think it's quite important because the job evaluation is much about the compensation as well. And I think if in a company people feel like they're not fair compensated, so if a CEO earns as much money as an entry-level employee, I think the company won't work long, because the CEO just has so much more responsibility. If he makes a mistake, it might have like big consequences for the company. So it's just fair that he earns more money. And I think for this reason, a job evaluation is important, that a company knows, okay, I have these jobs and I have to pay these people this much. And if they don't do that and the salary is unfair, then the staff will be unsatisfied.
Wow, thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much. Okay, well done. See you next.